Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
This is a real treat for all our South Florida audiences because very soon you're going to have an opportunity to see a great new movie, The Hero. We all want to be a hero. And it was directed and written by Brett Haley. And I have Brett on the line right now from California. So welcome to our show.
Thank you very much, but I'm actually in Brooklyn. I actually live in Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, okay. Well, I felt it was terrible for you to... Oh, well, you actually then could have called in on Saturday morning, but that's fine. Oh, so you really live in Brooklyn.
I live in Brooklyn. I have my whole filmmaking career since I graduated film school. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good. So you did something that everyone said you can't do, that you have to be out in California.
That's right. Going against the grain, as usual.
Good for you. Well, I'm going to let you, since I saw the film, thank you, I did see a preview of it, and just taken back by the sensitivity and the heartfelt lines, and, of course, Sam Elliott plays it so well.
Yes, the movie was really inspired by Sam. You know, I worked with him on my last film, which was called I'll See You in My Dreams.
That's the one I think that may be the one that I met him with. Yeah,
I believe it was.
Yeah.
And I got to know him really well and got to be I've always been a great admirer of his work, but I got to know him much more. And my co-writer, Marc Basch, and I decided that we wanted to give the world 90 minutes of Sam Elliott, pure and simple, where he was in every scene, and that's what The Hero is. It's a real acting showcase for Sam.
Yeah.
And I think he's just wonderful in the film.
Some of the highlights, though, that I loved, first of all, when it starts off with since I've been on the radio and I've done commercials and I've done things, that poor guy trying to repeat the same 6 words or whatever they were over and over and over.
Yeah, Sam has made he's done some very big voiceovers in his day. He's the voice of Coors Banquet Beer. He was the voice of Dodge Ram. He did Beef, It's What's for Dinner. So he knows that world, and he's told me about it. And something with people who have voices like Sam Elliott, when they come in, they nail it. They nail it first take, and the people don't know what else to do but ask them to do it one more time, over and over again, because they feel like they need to get their money's worth, I guess. So it's a very funny and real way to open the film. Right.
Well, why don't you tell us? I don't want to spoil it for people, but all I can say is that here in South Florida, it's perfect for our audience because we have a lot of people who have done great things in their life, and unless they continue on into their 90s, and they feel sometimes that they've missed out and they don't know what to do with themselves, and that's the feeling I got with this character.
Yeah, I think it's a guy who was once known for a role that made him famous in many ways. It made him, known to people, and he made a film called The Hero, and which he played the title character, and he could never really get back to that level of success. So he's known for essentially playing one character in one famous film back in the 70s. And the character that Sam plays, Lee Hayden, is not a hero. He is in real life a flawed person who is going through a very difficult time in his life, and he's trying to figure out his family and in his legacy and as an actor and a human being and how to make things right in his life before he faces the inevitable ending. And it's about grappling with that one-time success and coming to peace with not only that, but with the people in his life that care about him and that he cares about. And really, at the end of the day, that being the most important thing that I think all humans have as we go through this crazy journey.
Well, I will tell you something on a personal level, that my husband and I were 14 years difference, and he just passed away, and we were married for 43 years. Idyllic marriage. And so when the star came on, the female star, I said, well, come on, Sam, she's going to make your life fabulous.
That's the idea. Yeah, Laura Prepon plays Charlotte, who's much younger than Sam, and she's a bit mysterious, and you're not really sure what her intentions are with pursuing him. And that's the very interesting thing about this movie, is that she is pursuing him in many ways. And he is a little bit weirded out by it. He's a bit taken off guard. He's not sure what she's after. And I think the audience is not sure what she's after. But I do like relationships in films and investigating relationships in films that are a little bit abnormal, that are not the norm. And I think that this relationship, although the age difference is quite different, I think it challenges people to ask questions about why we are so judgmental of relationships that don't look and feel similar. I like two things that don't go together, and I think the journey that these two characters goes on is really fascinating and engaging for an audience.
I just want everyone to know you're listening to Brett Haley, who is director of this new movie coming out. I think it's the end of June. We have a little scoop here. And it's called The Hero. And it's really worth your going to see. There'll be some tears, but there'll be some big joy at the end. But let me also just tell you, I thought your characterization of her being a comedian was hysterical.
Oh, well, thank you. Yes, she, like myself and many other artists, that's where she works out what's going on in her life, is on stage as a stand-up comedian. And there is a big scene in which she does her act that I don't want to spoil for people, but it is a big scene in the film for sure.
I couldn't believe what she was saying.
Yeah, it's funny, but also kind of, sad.
Of course, I know.
Yeah.
Well, we saw that. Yeah, you see, in my capacity, with my profession and here in South Florida, I understand all that. That happens to men, and they all love the younger women. But now you'll have next film you have to write, of course, is about the coyotes.
That's right.
We have so many of them down here.
That's right. I don't know that I've heard that term, but I'm guessing that's similar to a cougar.
It is. I call them coyotes because the cougars are something, but the coyotes, they're even louder.
That's right. They're howling at the moon always, right?
They are. Well, what I want to do, though, with you is to ask you, so you're the director and the writer. How does that work? Do you get confused?
No, the two go together very well because the director is really executing the script, and I have a great co-writer, Marc Basch, so we work together and write the script together. And then I take that story, which I know really well, and I go out to tell it. So the two go very well together. I think I am a writer-director first and foremost, and for me, they just go hand in hand. So when I work with the actors and work with the crew on executing the screenplay, I know it better than anyone, and I think that's a wonderful position to be in.
Is there any personal ideas in this? Anything happened to you or your family member who was similar? There's a cancer diagnosis in the film, and I lost a family member to that type of cancer. So that's definitely personal to me. But I think more than anything, it's the themes of the film that are personal to me. The themes about what it means to be successful, quote unquote, what it means to be a good person at the end of the day, and what truly matters at the end of the day. In many ways, when you make a film, you're working out your own issues, and it's sort of like therapy. And this is a nice way for me to be reminded of the joy of just being around my loved ones and being good to people around me and always fighting for the relationships and the family in your life. I think that everyone can relate to that. I'm 33, and obviously Sam is 72, and I've made two films with actors of a certain age in the lead, and people are surprised by that, but I don't think it's that surprising or that strange. I think the themes of both of my films are very universal that I think anyone can relate to. You're an old soul, as they say.
That could very well be true.
But the other part about this, which was is so true, and so many people have lost relationships with their kids, whether it was through divorce or because they were busy, and that was very painful. I know that. And a lot of people, I've had something like that. A lot of people have somebody in their family that just didn't work, and now as they're nearing what could be the end, and it isn't the end, but what could be the end, they would wish somebody would do something to get them together. I kept wanting to say, go, don't stop pulling back.
That's right. I mean, I think it's hard. These relationships are difficult. People get wrapped up in their own, lives, and they forget about their parents or they forget about their children, and things are neglected. I think it's just human nature. It does take that effort, and the movie definitely is about the idea that you have to make that effort throughout your life to be there for your loved ones, to be there for your children, or to be there for your parents. And I think, again, everyone can relate that. I had a kid come up to me after a film festival screening and just say, I just called my parents.
Oh.
The movie made me want to call my parents. So to me, that's right. Sort of a really wonderful thing that I think the movie can give to people.
I think it'll happen with this one, frankly. I really believe that. It was done so well. And the other thing that I really enjoyed was when they had just finished, making love, and that he still couldn't believe it. He just didn't understand why she wanted to be there with him. I thought that was, he just lost his confidence so badly because he was an attractive man. I thought he was attractive, but of course, until I don't want to ruin it either, until he won that award, which was the most, it was extraordinary the way you carried that off.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, and I think it's more about sort of his lack of ability to trust people. That when you're a celebrity, I think people always want something from you. There's always an ulterior motive, and I think that Sam's character, Lee, is very aware of that, and I think he's a little bit sort of cautious of why this woman, this young, beautiful woman, is at his house and what is really going on. He's trying to get to the bottom of it. And I think the audience is trying to get to the bottom of it as well. I don't want to spoil anything, but they'll have to watch the movie to see how that relationship plays out.
Well, I didn't see, as marrying an older man, I understood that totally. I didn't think that was odd. He was attractive.
Well, you're more enlightened, I think, than maybe a lot of people. I think age difference for a lot of people is a big deal. But you, obviously, having a very successful relationship with an older woman, you get it. And I think that other people who have had those experiences do get what I'm trying to do in the film. I'm not trying to go into the Hollywood cliche and the trope of an older man and a younger woman just automatically getting together just because, but rather really trying to get into the details and the specificity of these two specific characters and why they are attracted to one another, but also the sort of tumultuous and nature of doing that and the challenges that come along with the age difference in any relationship.
Right. Now, have you ever been to an award ceremony where the awardee, acted that way? I just thought that was, more people should do that. That changed that woman's life.
No,
and here it goes
haven't.
viral. I loved it.
Yeah, no, I have not. That was all just made up. That was just...
It was a good makeup.
Well, thank you. That's usually what writers do. They just sort of make things up, and if it's good, hopefully people, respond to it.
Right, and I don't want to get political, but I sure wish who would do something like that sometime. Get off of his own who he is and give it away.
Sure.
It was just great. So tell me how Sam's feeling about the film. Did he love it?
I think Sam is very proud of his film. He said in interviews and in Q&As with me that this is the film he's most proud of in his 50-year career.
Really?
So to me, that means the world. So he definitely feels like this is his I think his most powerful and full performance. And I would have to agree. I think that if you love Sam Elliott like I do, this movie is certainly for you. You get to see many sides of him that I don't think you've seen before. And everybody loves Sam Elliott, so it's a great 90 minutes at the movie theater.
Well, I don't know much personally about him. Is that a fair question to ask now? Is he married? Does he have children? Is there anything like that you could tell us? Is he a grandfather?
Sam is married to Katherine Ross, who's in the film with him.
Oh, right.
She plays his ex-wife in the film, and Katherine and Sam have been together for almost 40 years.
Oh, wow.
Very happily married. They have a daughter, Cleo, and Sam has a wonderful relationship with her. So Sam is not playing himself in the film. There are some things that are very close to him as an actor, but Sam, the man, is a very full, has a very full life. He's a very happy person. He has a great family life. He has a wonderful career. These are all things that Lee Hayden, the character that he plays in The Hero, does not have. So it is something that I think Sam was stepping into to discover that was very different from his own life.
Right, I see that. What about his daughter in the film?
Well, that's Krysten Ritter, who was in Breaking Bad, and she's in a show now on Netflix called Jessica Jones, where she is the title character. She's a wonderful actress, and we wanted to get someone really emotional and incredible to play his daughter, and that's who we think Krysten is. I think she does a great job in the film.
Yeah, it was well put together, and I want to tell everybody again, it's simple, The Hero, and it is by Brett Haley, and that's who I'm talking to right now, and it will come out, when does it actually hit the streets? June the 28th or something?
I believe it's the 23rd or the 30th.
Okay.
I mean, it depends on when I don't know specifically where your listeners are.
South Florida.
It will be in South Florida either on the 23rd of June, or it will be there for the great long 4th of July holiday weekend, June 30th. I believe it's a 5-day weekend this year, so lots of time to come see the film and enjoy it and get lots of groups together. I do think people in South Florida will enjoy the film quite a bit. Yeah,
they will. The Hero. Now you have to do one about the heroine, right? The coyote.
That's right.
So this is great. So now you finished the film. Now what are you working on?
I'm making another film this summer here in New York, and we're just working on that now. And just trying to stay busy and trying to continue to make good quality films that connect with people. So that's the goal.
So is it also a character? It's going to be one person that you really make as the main character?
No, this one is about a father and a daughter, so it's a little bit different. It's more of what we call a two-hander.
Okay. Well, that's really wonderful. I know that the South Floridians, they are moviegoers, and of course it'll be on Netflix eventually. I don't know if does it get on Netflix right away?
No. Netflix is a separate situation.
Right.
It won't be on Netflix anytime soon, so I really highly recommend people to go see it on the big screen. That's really where it's meant to be seen and enjoyed, and it will be in theaters. Like I say, in June, and I mean it's in theaters in some theaters now, and it's just expanding. And I would highly recommend people to go see it in the movie theater and not wait till it's online.
Right. I think that's a very, very good advice. And so everyone, our listeners, of course, you know Boomer Times, most of you read it. We have a great cover this time. We're actually, I'm not going to tell you who else is on there, but we are going to have some exciting images, one of which, of course, will be Sam Elliott. And I'll do a little bit of a review inside. So if you don't get to the movie before it comes out July 1st, or the first week in July, make sure you go and see it. It'll be, I'm sure, in all the major theaters, because Sam Elliott is, he's famous. He's wonderful. I was thinking about how many men would have I don't know what the word is, the ability to grow that kind of a mustache.
Well, he is certainly a rare specimen in that way.
I mean, that takes, that's right. Of course, his white hair with the white mustache, it is so symbolic. You almost don't have to have a face. You just have those two things, and you could probably figure out it was Sam Elliott.
Yeah, he is definitely famous for the mustache and the voice.
Yeah, the voice, right. It is. Now, where did he grow up?
Sam grew up in Sacramento.
But he has this almost Western voice. Duh.
Well, his family comes from West Texas.
Oh.
I think that.
Oh, okay.
I think that he picked up his drawl from his mother, is what he tells me.
Oh, really? From his mother. Yeah, because you just put a cowboy hat on him, and he's ready to go.
That's right.
And so, of course, in the movie, not this movie, but the movie that he played, it was called The Hero, right? The original movie that his own
That's
one
right.
and only movie, right? So he did play this, guy.
Yes, and Sam, in his career has played many
Westerns?
Done many Westerns.
Oh,
so
he has.
Yes, he is known. I think he's known for movies like Tombstone and The Big Lebowski, where he plays a drugstore cowboy. He's done many made-for-television Westerns, and he is really known, I think, first and foremost as a man in a cowboy hat on a horse.
Right.
So we play with that in the film.
Should have been the, what was the guy on the horse and the cigarettes? Was that not Chesterfield? That was, I forget.
The Marlboro Man?
Yeah, the Marlboro Man. That's what he could have been.
He actually plays a version of the Marlboro Man in a movie called Thank You for Smoking. So,
oh, really? Really?
Yes.
Oh, I have to look up some of his movies so because I'm now really a big fan of his, and I think that you're a brilliant writer and of course a director. Because I mean, a lot of writers pick and directors have fights with each other, as you know, because that's not the way I wanted it, and and the whole thing. So here you just avoided all that. You're it.
Well, I have a co-writer, so we work together, but thankfully there were no fights about what we were doing. It was all enjoyable.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Well, I and one more question I had. The Orchard, is that the name of your company?
That's the name of the distributor who bought the film when we premiered at Sundance.
It's very pretty. I looked at that and I kept thinking, I thought it's called The Hero. Here it is, The Orchard. Okay, I got that. Well, that's like if you see 20th Century Fox or Sony or Warner Brothers before a film, this is another company that is like them. They're a distributor, distribution company, so their logo is always before the film. I see. So if you could have changed anything in the film, looking at it, it's kind of like a painter, an artist. Well, I didn't have to do that. What would you have done? Anything or you're just totally happy?
I try not to look at my work that way. The piece came out the way it came out, very organically. There were a lot of things that changed as you work through it, and now it's not mine. It belongs to the audience out there, and I hope the audience enjoys it. And I don't sit around sort of expressing regret about the work that I've done. I made what I wanted to make, and I hope that audiences come out and see it, and I hope that they enjoy it.
Good. And something I was reading about that I didn't know Sam Elliott started in one of my most favorite of all movies, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. What did he play in that?
Sam doesn't even make it on screen in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. I think he is a shadow on the wall, as he would say, and he has an off-screen line. But it was his first job. He was a studio player back when they were shooting that film.
Oh, I see. Okay, so then because I love that film and I just couldn't imagine that.
If you watch the film, you will not see Sam's face.
Okay.
But he technically was on set for it, and he has a credit for it because back then studio players got credit even if they didn't make it on screen.
Right. Well, the part where it starts off, and I'm not going to tell anything too much, but starts off and he keeps asking his agent, so when am I going to get a new film or when am I going to get something? And then at the end, after what he did went viral, the calls just kept coming in. I mean, that was really a dream. It was like a dream come true.
Well, I'm really glad you enjoyed it.
I did. And I'm so glad that you were able to take the time to, I know you're busy, you're going crazy, but I think this will be worth it. I think we're going to do as much as we can to make everybody see The Hero. And gee, thanks, Brett, and thanks, Sam, and everybody else that was in the show. And good luck, and I'll be looking forward to your next film. And remember the coyotes, okay?
I will. Thank you very much for the time. And yes, please keep spreading the word about The Hero. I think your audience will really enjoy the film.
It will. Thanks again.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.